Hi all, welcome back to All in Manifestation. My name is Olin Quinn, your host, and if your life feels repetitive, it is your nervous system running on your past belief, thoughts, and your emotions that creates your current reality and the reality that you have been creating in the past. And we're here to change that right now. I'm running on a series, and it is a 6-month series called Renew Your Mind, Transform Your Life, a 6-month journey with Christ and the power of your mind. So let's get into today's topic.
The flame is flaming hot. Last time people blazing, now started making music and started to.
According to the Outwitting the Devil, a book by Napoleon Hill, which I'm going to link down below on the description box, where you can listen to the audiobook for free on YouTube, most people aren't thinking. They're just drifting. If you read the book, if you listen to the book, it all makes sense. You don't really have to read the book all the way through. The second chapter would absolutely blow your mind, and it's an interview between Napoleon Hill and the devil, and how it literally is controlling the world, the earth right now as we speak. Literally open my mind and change my perspective towards the devil and how I can not contribute to his doing. And my question is, what if the devil is not the red guy with the horns? What if it's your absolutely unconscious programming that you have been going through this past life, or your parents or your grandmothers, grandfathers, and absolutely just your ancestry, and you don't have the control of that, but now you have a control of right now in your life. I want to mention about the week 1 video or episode that you definitely don't want to miss. It is called Your Personality is Keeping You Broke and You're Not Stuck, You're Programmed. I really think that you should check that out. You don't want to miss that. And throughout this 6 months, I am going to post every week episodes that can change your life step by step to renew your mind and continue on living the best version of yourself instead of drifting or being unconscious of your own destiny, your own purpose in life. Before moving on to other segments, please subscribe. I notice a lot of people aren't subscribing, but they're watching all the videos that I have, and I would really appreciate it if you guys leave reviews on my podcast and comment down below. The reviews on my podcast link is on the description box, so then I would screenshot it and send it on my Instagram stories, and I'm very honored if you guys have the time to do that. Romans 12 verse 2 says this: "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." So in this 24 weeks, I will be guiding you week by week a new topic of episode on how to renew your mind and transform your life through Christ and the power of your mind or your consciousness. It takes 18 to 254 days to reform a new habit. Absolutely, with the subconscious rewiring, identity level, this is deeper than habits. This is changing the emotional patterns, trauma responses, identity, belief, and nervous system conditioning. Usually it takes 6 months to a year, where it naturally becomes of who you are instead of what you're just doing out of the habit. And I want this becomes your conviction, your starting line to change and renew and be conscious of what's going on around you and changing your life, so then your reality can be so much better than you've ever imagined. Let's move on to segment 1: emotional addiction to struggle. Stress is your brain signaling your body that something isn't safe. So chronic stress changes the dopamine of regulation. The brain prefers predictable pain over unpredictable change, right? We talked about that in week 1. Familiar emotions feel safer. It feels like it's normal for me to react to my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my mom or my dad or my sister or my coworkers or some random drivers that cuts you off, and it's just so familiar to be mad at them, to respond to them this way, rather than okay, I'm gonna react a different way. And it's just automatic, and it's not your fault. So, research in stress and allostatic load, Bruce McEwen, says that the longer you stay in survival mode, the more your nervous system normalizes struggles and peace starts to feel unsafe and chaos just feels so normal. Have you seen, feel, or lived in a household where chaos is normal, or your nervous system or your body feels like aching and tired and it's just like, oh, it's normal, like my back is always hurting, like it's fine, oh, it's normal, yeah, my dad yells at me this way like all the time, like it's fine. Maybe you're experiencing that and you think that that's normal, but no. Absolutely not. It's not normal. You're not attracting struggle. I just want you to remember that. But your nervous system is loyal to it since you were a kid. Since even when you were born, it has a part of your mom or whoever carried you throughout birth and their genes and their mom's genes. And it's so bizarre on how our programming is programmed and made. But we're here to change that, right? Segment 2, outwitting the devil, the drifter concept. So here I am explaining about the drifter concept. It is referenced by, again, The Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. It's such a great book. It's such a good read. Like, absolutely, I got mad when I was listening to it as I drive or like washing the dishes and just like listening to it and be like, ugh, like I let the devil be so in charge of my life and in charge of my future like that. Like, why? You know? But now I'm conscious enough to do it, right? To acknowledge what he is like, or like your unconscious mind is like, oh, you're trying to slip and I am not letting you. So the concept of drifting, Hale described drifter as the people who reacts instead of think, let fear control them, stay in a habit unconsciously, and when someone don't define their purpose. I am the type of person that like has so much drive, so much ambition. But in my early 20s, like I've always like, okay, I like singing, I like doing this, I like dancing, I like obviously talking in front of cameras and like speaking to microphones, just like what I am doing right now. And like I love sales, like I can get money from that. Oh my gosh, super tiring. And I thought I can do it all as a manifestor generator. If you know about human design, yeah, I'm guilty of that 100%, but it takes time and it takes conscious thoughts to recognize that patterns and to recognize how I am super burnt out by it, right? And knowing your purpose is like the most important thing, so then you can absolutely know the steps, aligned action that you needed to take, and your intention is super big, so then you can serve God by knowing your purpose and go and get your purpose. Drifting is like default mode network autopilot. When you don't consciously choose, your conditioning chooses how you react, how you feel about that person, or how you feel about the circumstances, how you feel about money, how you feel about spending, how you feel about like asking money of the work and the labor that you have already put out. Like recently I did a face painting job and last year I charged this person like $100 for like 13 kids. I was like happy just to be there, you know what I mean? But now I'm like, no, it's this much. And they're like, wow, I did not notice that your price increases so much. Instead of me backing out and be like, sorry, let's just do 200. I feel like, yeah, no, I'm unapologetic. Like, this is how much I am making and this is how much I am like giving out. So I am learning also to just let it go and be like, well, if they don't book again, they don't have to. I have more and more abundance out there, more people that would definitely pick me as their face painter. Boom. Booyah. Okay. So, drifting is letting your trauma have Wi-Fi. Like, it's okay, like I have trauma and let me just fuel it up. It's like letting your broken car that doesn't serve you anymore, you're giving gas to it. And you're like, well, I have so much gas, like I will go, but it might die soon in the 5 miles or whatever. So fear is a control mechanism, right? Hills says that the devil controls people through fear, indecision, doubt, and overthinking. It means that all of them are stress responses. Fear hijacks the prefrontal cortex, the decision center. It's just like, oh, I'm afraid that this is gonna happen. I'm afraid that this is gonna, I'm afraid that da da da. Well, if you fear so much, that means you're feeding the devil. You're feeding your unconscious reprogramming that sets you up to failure. That is not making you stand up. And you know what? I'm the child of God. I know I'm getting ahead of this, but I'm just so eager to like tell you how to move on from this mindset, which I'm so excited. Side note, guys, I have been a Christian. I have been baptized so many times, but I haven't really choose that for myself in my own future, in my own soul. Like my parents have always been choosing it for me, or my grandma choose it for me, or my grandpa obviously choose it for me, but like I've never been like, oh my gosh, like I've tried so many ways to find alternative, to find help, to find better stuff, better this and that, but last Thursday, I claimed myself to be a renewed Christian. And I'm just so happy. I stood up in front of like 3,000 people and saying that I believe, and everyone just like claps. And I wanted to cry thinking about it because I'm just so tired of this. So many uncertainties in my life, and I feel like God absolutely is fixing that and fixing all of the traumas that I've had. And he's just telling me that like all the things that I went through just helps me to create a story so that I can tell to everyone around me that wants to get to know me for who I am, and because of how I really wanted to get to know Jesus for who he is instead of me wanting him to be in my life in my terms. I want to introduce you to Be Magnetic, TBM. It's a pathway membership which will help you to identify your blocks, find your authentic self, and start manifesting the life you've always dreamed of. They have unlimited classes. They have workshops, monthly manifestation classes. They have challenges throughout the seasons. They have community group which filled with amazing women over there, which I adore, and so much more. My favorite thing about them is they're backed up by neuroscience, psychology, epigenetics, and energetics. And that is why I actually suggest you to do your inner work with To Be Magnetic. To Be Magnetic will help you as so much as they helped me with my limiting beliefs, find my authentic self, and create 4 of the authentic pillars that you prioritize and what you're setting yourself into, especially coming to this new life that you started. TBM has helped me with my unhealthy dynamics, people-pleasing, codependency, when I struggled to set my boundaries, my resentment, jealousy, and negative thoughts pattern, and absolutely helped me to get out of my unfulfilling career and unhealthy relationships. So if you want to join this journey with me to completely transform your life, you can get 15% off discount on payment plans. They have pay in 12 months or pay in full just by using code OLIN. All in. I just want you guys to know that I am generating an income from this just for 15% commission. It's not that much. It will not increase your payment. It will actually decrease your payment. Honestly, I feel like Lacey's doing this because she is super generous to want to let people know that this work works. It changed my life. I owe my life to this work. And I have made so many accountability buddies that helped me in my journey along the way. And I'm super excited for you to get on with this journey with TBM yourself. Happy manifesting, and let's get back to the episode. Segment 3. Releasing victim identity or victim mentality by meditation and be in God's words. A victim identity is an identity fused with past pain. So Dr. Joe Dispenza says, your life is here right now, your present tense, like, and you want to create the future. And if you, so this is what he says. If you look at yourself right now, this is yourself that you created because your past self was thinking about the same things in the past. That's why it creates the same things right now, which is the past version of yourself's future. You get what I'm saying? Are you with me here? So if you want to change the future, you have to change how you think feel, and decide. So then right now, if you think about the past, that means you're going to create the same future. So right now, you have to think about what you want to create in the future instead of believing in the things in the past. And it like blows my mind every single time. And whenever I think about my past, I'd be like, you know what? No, I have a new future. I have a new story that God is creating, that is starting. And I'm just like so excited. I am very emotional, if you guys can't tell, and welcome if you're new. So the identity is basically the mental group chat in your head that is always talking about you. So like the more you rehearse that like this happened to me, that happened to me, that means this, like means this about me. Me. And it's like the stronger the identity writing, it's because it's the more you rehearse like the me in the past story. There is a research on meditation reducing DMN activity. So DMN is default mode network in your brain that I can explain. DMN is active when the mind is daydreaming about the past, self-reflecting about the past, worrying about the past or the future that hasn't even happened yet, and replaying the past scenarios. And obviously DMN can be changed just like that if you decided to. You can daydream about your future that you really wanted to live, like, oh, like I'm gonna have a house in Maldives, I'm gonna like just live wherever I want, I'm like dreaming in the patio of my dream house. Like you can do that. That's a positive thing, and it regulates your emotion in your nervous system, right? But absolutely, there's a negative side of that too. So multiple neuroscience studies shows that meditations reduce activities in the default mode network. Take out pen and paper and just write down your positive DMN and your negative DMN and see how many of each do you frequently think about. And if you weren't conscious about your present self or your thoughts now, then you'll probably have higher chance that you have and the negative side of DMN. And meditation reduces activity in the default mode network. That's what the multiple neuroscience study shows. Especially during mindfulness and focused attention practices. That means less mental chatter, fewer automatic thought loops, a quieter inner story. So meditation can actually quiet down the part of your brain that often runs on autopilot. The same system involves in self-thinking, rumination, that like me thought. It'll quiet down and silence everything out because you're focusing on your breathing, your body, and your imaginative surroundings instead of like what you're seeing through your senses that translate the codes in your brain, what that means about you. You get this? Are you here? Are you still with me? Yes or no? Comment down below. So, on God's word, biblical meditation is not emptying your mind. It is filling your mind with God's truth. Psalm 1 says, meditating on the word day and night. And when you sit in stillness and focus on his scripture, you interrupt the victim narrative. You shift from what happened to me to what God says about me. You decrease like self-obsession about, oh, it's me, like I'm just this, I'm just that, I'm la 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 la. But you increase God's awareness. Fix your mind on things above. That's what the Colossians 3 verse 2 says. Next is the identity shift, right? So victim identity would say, I am what happened to me. Oh, that happened to me. That means I'm this, right? But the kingdom identity says, I am who God says I am. I am his children. I am his daughter. I am a winner. I never lose because he fights for me and the angels and Holy Spirit fights for me. And I'm going to create my future the way he says that I am going to be. And all the talents that I have, I'm going to use that. I'm going to go ahead and get and take an action and go get it. Victim mentality loops pain and suffering of what you have gone through, but the kingdom identity literally rehearses his promise. Loops pain that you and struggle that you've been through, but God already died for you and your sins already. When you claim yourself that Jesus is king, Jesus is your father, he already paid all that debt for you right now. I want to link here. This is the thumbnail. That one is really good video or episode because I don't have to try. I don't have to work. I don't have to work so hard to absolutely be worthy. I'm already worthy because God already made me worthy even before I was born. It just definitely rewired my brain and changed my whole life, and it changed my whole identity and personality, and it's so fresh. And seeing when people are alike with me, this is how I can tell I like myself now, is I can see when other people are talking about things that I talk about. It feels so good. It feels like a fresh breath of air. We're in the same level and we know that God is king. I can't stop saying that. Okay, and I will not. Here's the powerful part. When meditation quiets the self-referential network, it becomes easier to hear God's voice over your trauma narrative. Less of me, and more he said, he does, he claims upon my life. You're awakening your new neural pathways and you're weakening your old neural pathways. Segment 4, how to stop living from the past. We're going to give you a practical steps. All right, number 1, catch the emotional loop or trigger. When trigger, you pause. Don't react, just disrupt the chemistry. Just acknowledge, just whoa. I'm about to react here, but think this is a trigger. Number 2, emotional rehearsal. Imagine responding differently. So think, a person who has healed, right, from this whatever stuff that is triggering my old identity right now, how would they respond to this situation? And remind yourself that you have been renewed and practicing your body to respond differently. Ooh, my old self would react this way. What would a person who's healed from this situation, from this trauma, would react? Probably wouldn't react at all, right? Probably would be not even think about it, not even a thought. So my ex of a month, I think you guys know this. I don't know who I'm talking about. I'll love to him. Hopefully he moves on. 3 days after Valentine's Day, he, I guess, put flowers beside my wheel on the driver's door of my car outside of my house. I almost called the police. I was like, who? Should I? Still? No? I don't know. But hopefully not. But if he would do that again and you watch this video, I will call police on you. That was creepy. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Yeah, he drew a picture of us and then he used the Lord's verse and all that stuff. Love is kind, love is this and that. And this is the guy who got really angry by a random person in the highway for no reason and would curse them and do all that stuff. And obviously, what? In front of your girlfriend? It's just what? No way. So I broke up with him. And obviously there's so many more to that. But if I wasn't really that healed enough to be mature to be no, this guy isn't for me, whatever, I would have just unblocked him and would hey, how are you? I got the flowers that you received. No. I literally tossed the message, he's whatever notes to the trash, and I put the flowers in my office just to oh, there's more flowers in my office because I bought all these flowers and grew out these flowers and grew out these plants, but there you go, another flower in there. I don't care. I never unblocked anyone anywhere. So yeah, I recognizing that I'm healed. But yeah, I do not respond. There's not even a thought of him even before he sent me a flower. So I guess I'm healed. That's just an example of how a person that's healed would respond instead of responding from that old identity self. Number 3, decide to not drift, right? Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon says, definiteness of purpose breaks drifting. It means that intentional identity rewires the brain. The will has to be so big that you choose to respond differently. Do you want to change? That means your will has to like be so big. It has to be like bigger than the desire, the familiarity that you've had in the past. Like it has to be bigger. That's why changing takes so much energy. That's what Dr. Joe Dispenza says. But with Jesus, nothing is bigger than him. Boom. Boom shakalaka. And number 4, regulate before you visualize your new response. And just continuing on doing that every time you get triggered. Let's say you have a thought about money, or like there's a situation where you have to like pay a lot of debt, or like, oh my gosh, there's like another bill come through, like I don't even know where this comes from. Breathe. There's a breathing exercise from Wim Hof. It's free on YouTube. Go walk in nature, or, just walk outside. Take an Epsom salt bath. Listen to the sounds surrounding you. Every single one of the sounds. Right now I'm hearing birds. I'm hearing cars. Be present and pray. Remember your goals and visualize as if God's already in the process. Because He is. He's working. Even though we're not seeing it, He's working at all times, guys. At all times. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast episode. So week 3, I am going to talk about EFT tapping for releasing old patterns. I love EFT tapping and I've been doing it since 2022. And I am going to be speaking through testimony and through the facts and how you can do it. And it's just one tool that I will be talking about next week that you don't want to miss, definitely. This is so easy and so easy to do, and I've gone through many breakthroughs through this method. EFT is emotional freedom technique, but like I will talk about it like next week, and I hope to see you there. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to the All In Manifestation Podcast. If you loved today's episode, I'd be thrilled to share a future self-guided meditation with you. To get it, just leave an honest review on Apple Podcasts. Share your biggest takeaways and let us know how we're doing. Before you hit submit, take a quick screenshot and then email it to olinquininquiries@gmail.com. That is olinquininquiries@gmail.com. Once I see it, I'll send over your free meditation as a thank you. Until next week, stay aligned, stay within your authentic self, and I'll see you then. Bye.